Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday. The S&P 500 was down 0.43% today. Kind of interesting. I think over the weekend, I had a chance to really digest what was happening at Jackson Hole. As you probably recall, it was up a lot on Friday after Chairman Powell basically said, "Hey, we're looking at the possibility of a rate cut in September," and kind of pivoted around from, "Hey, we're really going to sit and not do anything," to we need to look at the labor market and make sure it's going to be okay. And so the market reacted very positively to that and what have you. But over the weekend, you got to kind of really see all the different pieces. So they interviewed a lot of the different the Fed governors. Um, and it seems kind of split on whether they really want to do a rate cut or not. Although I suspect that, September rate cut's probably going to happen. The market's betting over 80% possibility. But the October and December rate cuts are still, potentially in play. And the reason that they're worried about it is, again, because of inflation. We do get the PCE inflation report that's going to come out this week. So this is, the end of the month for last month. This is the measure that the Fed looks at. It's at 2.9% for core PCE inflation, year over year. And so it's actually been kind of creeping upwards. And there's some fear that it might come up even farther as the effect of the tariffs comes into play here. And so, again, that's where the Federal Reserve gets kind of stuck in the middle. Do they want to make sure that they're fighting inflation, or do they need to, get out there and support the job markets, because the job market had, pretty poor showing, actually. Now, we will get another job market, report here before the Fed meets in the middle of September. So it'll be interesting to see, do they do further revisions for the previous months? And, what is the number now? Of course, we fired the person that was kind of in charge of all of that. So we'll see how that changes, things also, and whether people, have confidence in it or not. We'll have to wait and see. But so that's what's happening. Really interesting in terms of, the market's kind of waiting. Of course, the Nvidia earnings are coming. This is probably the biggest thing that's going to happen this week, actually, because, honestly, the whole engine behind this market motion that we're having here is this whole concept of this big spending that's happening on artificial intelligence. And Nvidia is, really the bellwether there. So, not only what are their numbers, which is good, but what is their outlook going forward as far as that goes. So it seems like that's still working quite well. Right now, there's not huge amounts of profits being made out of the AI arena per se. Lots of investments are being made. Profits are coming to companies that are providing those products, like Nvidia's, for example. So that, if that trade happens to falter, there's not a lot left for the market to deal with, other than some of these other things that might not be seen as positive. So anyway, that's what's happening today. Not a bad day. We'll see how it goes. I would say the market is a little bit softer than it has been, even with Friday's motion. It was down almost every day last week. However, you don't really know for sure if that's hey, we reached the top, or we're going to have some type of fall off, or if it's just seasonal. As we've been talking about, September, going back to 1928, is the only month with a negative average rate of return. So it is a softer time of the year. But again, last September, we had a 0.5 point rate cut, and the market did quite well. We got another possible rate cut coming this September, so it could be, buck the trend because of those rate cuts. So we'll see how that plays out. But anyway, look forward to being able to see what's going to happen tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Thank you very much.